Welcome. Today we're going to be focusing a little bit on the upper body meridians and the liver and gallbladder. So you'll want to have a stretchy band or a strap or something handy and your bolstering items as usual. So we'll start sitting comfortably. If you want, you can sit on a bolster to lift your hips a little bit higher. Good, and we'll just go ahead and take some deep breaths and go inside to ground here. So close your eyes if you'd like, and let your chin sort of drop down and just pull it back toward the spine so we feel the spine lengthen. And the head is sitting right on top of the spine. We're going to elongate our breath and slow it down a bit, taking nice, deep, full, even breaths. Allowing the belly to relax, and the hips, the shoulders, the jaw, the tongue, the mind. And as we draw the air in, take it all the way down to the pelvis, feeling the muscles gently expand. And as we exhale, we feel those muscles gently contract to push the air back up to the heart. You might want to let a little pause happen between the inhale and the exhale. Just let the mind rest into the breath. Good. You can gently open your eyes if they're closed, and we'll come into a saddle pose first. So we'll be sitting on our legs like this, or you may be even able to sit like this. Some people that are able to sit this way with your lower half of the leg next to your thighs. But if you need to bolster to sit on your knees, feel free to bolster up here if you can. We prefer to have a little bit of pressure on our knees if that's doable for you. But if it's not, then just sit cross-legged or however it's comfortable for you. You don't have to sit in saddle. Okay. And then we're going to take one arm, whichever arm wants to go first, cross it under, and then wrap that hand around, trying to get the fingers to lay against the palm, if possible. This is eagle pose. Get as close as you can to that position. And just follow the breath here, letting your arms relax. Going inside. Just being with the feelings and the sensations, whatever they are. This very much opens the back and stretches the shoulders and the top part of the arm. You can feel free to lift your elbows or bring your hands a little farther away from your head to create more intensity if you'd like, or just let your arms rest here. So the upper body meridians, ones that run up and down the arms and through the chest and the shoulders are the heart and the pericardium, the small and large intestines, and the lung. Meridians all run in the upper body. So the pericardium doesn't get a lot of press, like the heart does. But in Chinese medicine, the pericardium is considered an organ, and it's a membranous sac that surrounds our heart. So in Chinese medicine, the heart is the emperor, and the pericardium is its most trusted guard. So it surrounds and protects the heart. And it's the pericardium who decides what is going to enter into the deepest part of ourselves, into the heart. So let's go ahead and uncross that arm and maybe give your arms a little movement here. Shake them out or move them around however you like. And then we'll switch and cross the other arm under and see if we can bring the fingers all the way to the hand, that other hand here. Now one side might be different, as is the case for me, right? Just notice. So if the pericardium is disharmonious, then it's similar to the heart in the way the heart is when it's not harmonious. The meridians are blocked or obstructed, the energy's not moving, then you can you'll see symptoms the symptoms will be insomnia, anxiety. The meridian system that runs through our body circulates the energy, transports the energy through all the various organs and throughout the body. And if that energy gets blocked or obstructed, the organs can't function properly. So feel free to raise your elbows or bring your hands away or just play around with that position if you like. Okay, we'll go ahead and uncross the arms and move them around a little bit. Yeah, snake them around, lift them up, and then take your band or strap, whatever you have. We're going to bring it behind our back. We're just using it to hold on to, basically. So you want to see how close you can get your hands together. Grasp that band, roll the shoulders back to kind of squeeze the shoulder blades. Make sure your hands, wrists, and arms are in alignment. And I like to kind of rotate my wrists to point away from me a little bit. I find that to be the most comfortable position for my wrists and my hands. So just see how close you can get your hands together, and then we'll just lift the arms up a little bit. Opening the chest, getting into the small intestine meridian here. Small intestines, part of the digestive system. That's responsible for separating the pure from the impure in our bodies. And the same emotionally as well. The small intestine governs our discrimination, our discernment and discrimination. If you like, you can lean forward. You can put a bolster down under your head too, and you can lean forward and bring your arms up farther. Or just sit up and lift the arms behind. And staying with the breath here. You can always loosen it up if it's too much after a while, right? Or come out of a pose anytime you need to. Okay, we're going to release our band or strap and come around to sitting. And to start with, just if you've been sitting on your legs, you might want to give them a shake. Move your feet because the ankles get quite a good stretch in that position. And then we're going to come into a straddle with our legs wide. Move my bolsters out of the way. And we're going to bring, and now feel free to sit on a bolster if your hips if they tilt back and you can't bring your hips forward, you want to make sure you sit on a bolster. I'll always repeat that. And then we're going to take one foot and bring it in to the other thigh, as close as you're able to, right? Whatever that is. And you might need a pillow under this knee as well to support your knee. Whatever you need to do so your leg and your knee is comfortable. And then we'll turn toward this leg and stretch forward, right? Making sure the toes are pointed up. Of course, don't think that you have to come all the way forward over your leg. Even if you come, part way, just relax and let gravity help you stretch here. So yin is about time, not intensity. So we let time and gravity have their way. And then we're going to add a little piece to that. If you want to walk up the leg and bring this arm by your ear, and just create a little more stretch in the side by leaning, looking forward, leaning over. Which increases the stretch along the side, getting into the gallbladder and the spleen meridians, as well as the arm meridians by just having our arm up here. And if you want, you can let your arm float back down toward the leg. See if you can keep your torso oriented at least a little bit forward. Keep that intensity in the stretch, if that works for you. That works for your shoulder. The gallbladder is our decision maker. It's responsible for decision making and courage. Whenever we stretch our side, we're stretching the gallbladder meridian. Or if we're working the muscles on our side, we're activating the gallbladder. And Be sure to keep your head and neck comfortable. So if you need to rest your head on your hand or something to, our heads are pretty heavy. And if they're hanging forward, it can kind of pull on the neck. Okay, so go ahead and bring yourself slowly up to sitting, and we'll extend that bent leg out, and we'll bring our other foot in. And again, if you want to bolster your knee, make sure the toes are pointed up and stretch over that leg. And again, just letting gravity start to help you lower down more or not. You can stay up higher to find your edge. Yin, we want to come to an edge where there's a little bit of discomfort. We want to be able to stress and stretch, but not to the point of where you're feeling your body's resisting it all, or your breath is becoming a little bit short or labored. Then you need to back off of it a little bit, or come out of the pose. Just finding our edge and staying there. Sometimes the body will invite us deeper into the pose. And we're going to add a little more stretch. So if you want to come up and bring that arm by your ear, just lean over. Facing forward. And then letting that arm float down if you like, but keeping the torso facing a little bit forward. Really stretching that side body into the hip. Anytime we're forward folding, it just naturally relaxes the body. Good stress relief. So we're going to bring ourselves up slowly to sitting, or if you want to pause, of course, if you want to pause the video and stay in a pose longer. And then we'll go ahead and unbend that leg and give it a shake. And next we'll be coming into Swan, which means we'll be folding our leg under us and laying down on it. So if that doesn't work for you, you might want to come into a figure 4 on your back or up against the wall with your foot up against the wall. And a figure 4 is where you cross like that, right? If you're on your back, you reach through and pull that leg in. So if you're able to do Swan, just bring whichever knee wants to come forward first. And you can lean off to the side a bit, or you can put a bolster under that hip if you need to. I like to start up here till my hips kind of get used to what's happening, and then I start to come down onto the elbow. So just whatever works today for you. Make sure that you're not moving too quickly into a pose. So doing this in the morning might be a little bit differently than doing it later in the day. Eventually you might want to come all the way on the leg and lay down. That works for you. Sleeping Swan. So we're really stretching the liver, the kidney, into the bladder and the spleen a little bit here too. In Chinese medicine, the liver is often called the second heart because of its importance, and its main job is to store blood. And the heart is also related to pumping blood, so that makes sense. But the liver stores the blood and the chi energy and is responsible for balancing and distributing through the body. Liver is also very important to maintaining emotional balance. So if we have too much liver energy, then we might have agitation, get angry easily. It can affect our vision, so we might have poor vision. Too little energy, and we can experience depression, or just a depression of the energy in our body, fatigue. So we'll go ahead and press ourselves on up. Like I said, feel free to stay longer if you want, but we're just going to do a down dog transition here. Bring your feet under you and lift your hips. Relaxing the head. Maybe walking the heels, treading the heels. And then we'll come to the other side. So if you need to come onto your back or up against the wall, or if you're able to come into Swan, bring that leg forward, the other leg, put a cushion under your rear or lean over to the side if you need to. And then we'll slowly kind of bring ourselves onto the ground. The liver and the gallbladder work together. The liver is, in Chinese medicine, the liver is said to be responsible for making the plans, and the gallbladder carries them out. So when they're working harmoniously. We find it easy to make decisions and to move forward in life with confidence and assurance. Courage. This is one pose that I find easy to stay in for a long, extended time. So if you like to pause the video and stay longer than we're doing on this video, feel free to hang out in Swan for a while. So while yang exercises stress our muscles, yin stresses the deeper connective tissue. So that's why we stay in the pose for a length of time in order to, get into that deeper layer, the deeper layers of fascia, the ligaments and the tendons and the connective tissues, to nourish them. To hydrate and nourish the fascia takes time. Okay, so we're going to come up out of the Swan, or if you're doing the figure 4, take another little down dog stretch here. The blood moving through the legs, stretching the back of the legs a bit, relaxing the head and neck. And then coming down to the mat, we're going to just come into a short Shavasana. So we're only doing a few poses on these videos to keep them brief, but I really feel like it's important that we do a short Shavasana. So come onto your back, put something under your knees or under your head, cover yourself up, whatever you need to do to be comfortable, just for a little minute. And I will play my drum. Just maybe you want to put your hand on your heart, maybe one hand on your belly, and just relax. Feeling the drum beat resonating with your heart. And your body. When we love ourselves and we appreciate ourselves, it has an effect of a rippling effect that goes out and affects everything and everyone that we're connected to. So it's through loving ourselves and accepting ourselves that we're able to love others. So feel free to continue to lie there and relax or get up slowly. Thank you very much for coming. Namaste. See you next time. Take care.